Did you know that the samurai, the legendary warriors of Japan, were once tax collectors? And have you ever wondered how they became the epitome of honor and discipline? Stay with us to discover the fascinating journey of these iconic figures and the secret code that defined their lives. Japan is a land of enormous beauty and rich culture. It is the land of the legendary samurai warriors. The samurai are recurring figures in today's culture, but what was their true role in ancient Japanese society? In this documentary, we'll explore the origins, rise, and legacy of the samurai. Stay with us till the end to uncover the secret code of honor that made the samurai legendary. The word samurai means the one who serves. This encapsulated their primary role, to serve a feudal lord or even the emperor. Initially, the samurai collected taxes from the peasants. This work was not always peaceful, leading the samurai to begin using weapons and practicing martial arts. They were also allowed to execute low-class citizens who refused to pay taxes. The main duties of the samurai were to protect their lord's assets, preserve order, and be loyal to their sovereign. As tax collectors, samurai often encountered resistance from peasants. These confrontations could quickly escalate into violence, necessitating the samurai's proficiency in martial arts. Their initial armament consisted of simple weapons, but as they honed their skills, their arsenal expanded to include swords, bows, and spears. The art of swordsmanship in particular became a defining aspect of samurai culture. As the samurai began to take on more military functions, they developed a distinct culture centered around martial prowess and loyalty. This period saw the rise of various schools of martial arts, where samurai were trained in the use of weapons and hand-to-hand combat. The dojo, or training hall, became a central institution in samurai life, where young warriors learned not only the art of combat, but also the virtues of discipline and respect. These early training regimens were rigorous. Samurai trainees would wake up at dawn for meditation and physical conditioning. They practiced their combat skills for hours, often sparring with fellow trainees under the watchful eyes of seasoned masters. The mental aspect of training was equally important. Samurai were taught to remain calm under pressure and to anticipate their opponent's moves. One of the first significant conflicts involving the samurai was the Genpei War, 1180 to 1185, a national civil war between the Taira and Minamoto clans. This war set the stage for the rise of the samurai as a dominant military class in Japan. The Minamoto clan's victory led to the establishment of the Kamakura Shogunate. The war was marked by significant battles, such as the Battle of Dan no Ura, which showcased the tactical brilliance and bravery of the samurai. The Genpei War was not just a struggle for power, but also a test of the samurai's evolving martial techniques. The introduction of mounted archery and coordinated infantry maneuvers were pivotal in the Minamoto clan's success. These innovations underscored the samurai's adaptability and their commitment to mastering new forms of warfare. The story of Minamoto no Yoshitsune, a famed samurai of the Minamoto clan, is one of the most celebrated in Japanese history. Trained by the mythical Tengu, Yoshitsune became a legendary figure, his exploits and battles becoming the stuff of legends and folklore. Tales of his strategic brilliance and unmatched swordsmanship have been passed down through generations, inspiring countless samurai. Yoshitsune's life is filled with dramatic episodes, such as his daring escape from Kyoto and his final stand at the Battle of Koromogawa. His tragic end, betrayed by his own brother, Minamoto no Yoritomo, adds a layer of poignancy to his legend. Despite his untimely death, Yoshitsune's legacy endures, symbolizing the ideal of the samurai warrior. The daily life of a samurai in these early periods involved rigorous training, administrative duties, and constant readiness for combat. Samurai were expected to be proficient not only in martial skills, but also in literacy and governance. Their role as both warriors and bureaucrats set them apart in the feudal hierarchy. Samurai were often responsible for managing their lord's estates, ensuring that agricultural production met the needs of their domain. This dual role required a broad skill set. Samurai had to be versed in agricultural practices, economic management, and conflict resolution. They also maintained detailed records and reports, reflecting their literacy and administrative capabilities. This blend of martial and bureaucratic duties made the samurai indispensable to their lords. As the samurai class expanded, they faced numerous challenges. Land disputes among rival clans were common, leading to frequent skirmishes and battles. The need for effective communication and coordination became crucial, and the samurai developed sophisticated systems of signals and messengers. These early networks laid the groundwork for the complex communication strategies used in later periods. Additionally, the samurai's expanding role in society led to tensions with other classes. Conflicts with the aristocracy and the peasantry became more frequent, forcing the samurai to navigate a delicate balance between maintaining order and asserting their authority. These challenges forged a resilient and adaptable warrior class. Samurai culture began to integrate deeply with Japanese society. They were not only warriors, but also patrons of the arts. Samurai commissioned works of literature, poetry, and calligraphy, contributing to the rich cultural tapestry of Japan. The Heian period saw a flourishing of artistic and literary pursuits, with samurai playing a key role as both creators and patrons. Samurai homes were often adorned with beautiful artworks and scrolls of poetry. Tea ceremonies became a common practice, reflecting the samurai's appreciation for refined culture and their desire to cultivate a sense of inner peace and discipline. These cultural pursuits balanced their martial duties, creating a well-rounded and sophisticated warrior class. Over time, the influence of the samurai grew, increasing respect and fear towards them. Many samurai accumulated wealth and land, but were still considered an inferior class by the nobility. With the increase in land disputes, feudal lords known as daimyo hired more warriors as samurai. This growing power dynamic led to the establishment of vast samurai estates, which required careful management and defense. The wealth accumulated by samurai often came from their control over agricultural production. They imposed taxes on the peasants working their lands, and these revenues funded their military endeavors. The wealthier samurai could afford better weapons, armor, and horses, further enhancing their status and effectiveness in battle. In 1185, many feudal lords went to war. After numerous battles, Minamoto no Yoritomo emerged victorious and received the title of shogun, great commander of the army. All other feudal lords were forced to swear loyalty to him, marking the birth of Japan's first military dictatorship, the Kamakura Shogunate. This period solidified the samurai's role as the ruling military class in Japan. The establishment of the shogunate marked a shift in Japanese governance. Power was centralized under the shogun, diminishing the influence of the emperor and the traditional court. This new military government introduced legal and administrative reforms that reinforced the samurai's authority and codified their duties and privileges. The Kamakura Shogunate established a new social and political order in Japan, with the shogun holding ultimate power while the emperor remained a figurehead. This period also saw the codification of laws and the establishment of a feudal system that defined the roles and responsibilities of the samurai. Samurai were tasked with enforcing these laws and maintaining order within their domains. The shogunate's legal reforms included the establishment of the Goseibai Shikimoku, a legal code that outlined the responsibilities of various classes and the penalties for transgressions. Samurai courts adjudicated disputes, ensuring that justice was administered swiftly and fairly. This legal framework reinforced the samurai's role as both enforcers of the law and protectors of the realm. The Kamakura period was not just a time of military dominance, but also of cultural development. The samurai were patrons of the arts, supporting the creation of literature, poetry, and religious texts. Zen Buddhism also became closely associated with the samurai during this period, emphasizing discipline and self-control. The samurai's commitment to Zen principles was reflected in their daily practices and their approach to combat. Zen Buddhism offered the samurai a framework for understanding the impermanence of life and the importance of mindfulness. Meditation became a key component of their training, helping them to achieve a state of mental clarity and focus. The Zen influence extended to the arts, with samurai commissioning and creating works that reflected the simplicity and austerity of Zen aesthetics. During the Kamakura period, several samurai became famous for their deeds. Hojo Tokimune, who led Japan during the Mongol invasions, is one such figure. His leadership and strategic brilliance are still remembered today. Tokimune's success in repelling the Mongol invasions solidified his reputation as a formidable leader and a national hero. Tokumuni's strategy during the Mongol invasions included the construction of coastal defenses and the use of innovative naval tactics. His ability to mobilize and coordinate large numbers of samurai demonstrated the effectiveness of the shogunate's military organization. The victory over the Mongols was celebrated as a divine intervention, reinforcing the samurai's belief in their sacred duty to protect Japan. The Kamakura Shogunate also saw significant military innovations. The use of mounted archery, tactical formations, and the construction of coastal defenses against the Mongol invasions demonstrated the samurai's adaptability and strategic acumen. These innovations were not only practical, but also reflected the samurai's commitment to mastering new technologies and techniques. Mounted archery, or yabusame, became a ceremonial practice that showcased the samurai's skill and precision. The development of defensive structures, such as stone walls and fortified castles, provided strategic advantages in both offensive and defensive operations. These advancements underscored the samurai's role as both warriors and engineers. As the influence of the samurai expanded, they began to play a crucial role in the administration of the shogunate. Samurai were appointed as governors and judges, overseeing the implementation of laws and the maintenance of order. Their involvement in governance extended beyond military matters, encompassing economic management and social welfare. Samurai administrators were responsible for collecting taxes, managing public works, and ensuring the well-being of their communities. This multifaceted role required a deep understanding of both military strategy and civilian administration. The samurai's ability to balance these responsibilities contributed to the stability and prosperity of the Kamakura shogunate. The rise of the samurai also had significant economic implications. Samurai demanded high-quality weapons, armor, and horses, leading to the growth of industries dedicated to producing these goods. This economic activity contributed to the prosperity of regions controlled by powerful daimyo. Artisans and merchants flourished, creating a thriving market for samurai-related goods. The demand for fine craftsmanship extended to other areas, such as architecture and fashion. Samurai patronage supported the development of exquisite pottery, textiles, and metalwork. The economic interdependence between samurai and artisans fostered a vibrant cultural and economic landscape. During the Kamakura shogunate, the samurai class acquired military functions, and their authority grew even greater. Simply looking a samurai in the eye or soiling his clothes could cost a peasant his life. To secure their place in society, many samurai married women from noble families, and their children were trained from childhood as their successors. The samurai's elevated status was reflected in their lifestyle and appearance. They wore elaborate armor and carried distinctive swords that symbolized their rank and honor. Samurai residences, known as yashiki, were fortified compounds that showcased their wealth and power. These homes were often adorned with beautiful gardens and tea houses, reflecting the samurai's appreciation for nature and culture. These ancient martial arts gave rise to judo, karate, aikido, and many other modern martial arts. The training was rigorous and started from a young age, ensuring that samurai were always prepared for battle. The dojo became a sacred space where samurai honed their skills and learned the values of discipline and respect. Martial arts training emphasized both physical and mental conditioning. Samurai practiced kata, or choreographed forms, to perfect their techniques. Sparring sessions, known as randori, allowed them to apply their skills in simulated combat. The integration of meditation and breathing exercises helped samurai maintain focus and control in high-pressure situations. The daily life of a samurai was filled with rigorous training, study, and duties to their lord. They practiced martial arts, studied strategy and literature, and participated in religious and cultural activities. Their lives were governed by strict codes of conduct and discipline. Samurai were expected to embody the virtues of loyalty, courage, and honor in all aspects of their lives. A typical day for a samurai began with early morning meditation, followed by hours of physical training and weapon practice. Afterward, they attended to their administrative duties, managing the affairs of their lord's estate. Evenings were often spent in study, reading classical texts and writing poetry. This balanced approach to life ensured that samurai were well-rounded individuals, capable of both intellectual and martial pursuits. Key figures such as Hojo Tokimune, who repelled the Mongol invasions, played crucial roles in solidifying the samurai's military prowess and authority. Their strategic acumen and bravery in battle became legendary, further elevating the status of the samurai class. Tokimune's leadership during the invasions exemplified the qualities of a true samurai leader. Other notable figures include Minamoto no Yoritomo, the founder of the Kamakura Shogunate, and Ashikaga Takauji, who established the Ashikaga Shogunate. These leaders not only excelled in battle, but also implemented policies that strengthened the samurai class and ensured their dominance in Japanese society. Their contributions to military strategy, governance, and culture left a lasting legacy. The battles of the Kamakura period, including the famous Battle of Dan no Ura, shaped the destiny of Japan and the samurai class. These conflicts solidified the samurai's role as the protectors of the nation. The Battle of Dan no Ura, fought in 1185, was a decisive naval engagement that marked the end of the Genpei War and the downfall of the Taira clan. The tactical brilliance displayed in these battles demonstrated the samurai's ability to adapt to different forms of warfare. The use of naval strategies, psychological warfare, and coordinated attacks highlighted the samurai's strategic acumen. The outcomes of these battles had far-reaching consequences, influencing the political landscape and solidifying the power of the samurai. Samurai culture became deeply integrated with Japanese society. The tea ceremony, calligraphy, and poetry were among the cultural practices that flourished under the patronage of the samurai. Their influence extended beyond the battlefield into the cultural and intellectual life of Japan. The samurai's commitment to cultural pursuits reflected their belief in the importance of balance and harmony. Tea ceremonies, or chanoyu, became a central cultural practice among samurai. These ceremonies were not only social gatherings, but also opportunities for meditation and reflection. The precise movements and rituals involved in preparing and serving tea mirrored the discipline and attention to detail that characterized samurai training. Calligraphy and poetry allowed samurai to express their artistic sensibilities and philosophical insights. The samurai were also influenced by various philosophical and religious beliefs. Zen Buddhism played a significant role in shaping the samurai's approach to life and death. The practice of meditation and the emphasis on mindfulness helped the samurai maintain focus and composure in battle. Shinto, the indigenous spirituality of Japan, also influenced the samurai's reverence for nature and their ancestors. Confucianism, with its emphasis on filial piety and loyalty, further reinforced the samurai's sense of duty and honor. These philosophical and religious influences created a rich and complex moral framework that guided the samurai's actions. The integration of these diverse beliefs contributed to the unique character of the samurai, blending martial prowess with spiritual and ethical considerations. Beyond their roles as warriors, samurai made significant contributions to society. They were involved in the construction of infrastructure, including roads and bridges, which facilitated trade and communication. Samurai also supported education, founding schools, and sponsoring learning institutions. Their commitment to public works and education underscored their role as leaders and protectors of the community. Samurai schools, or terakoya, provided education to both samurai and commoners. These schools offered instruction in reading, writing, and arithmetic, as well as moral and ethical teachings. The samurai's support for education reflected their belief in the importance of knowledge and intellectual development. Their contributions to infrastructure projects improved the quality of life for all members of society. To illustrate the impact of samurai in various aspects of society, we can delve into personal anecdotes and stories. One such story is that of Tomoe Gozen, a female samurai who served Minamoto no Yoshinaka. Known for her bravery and skill in combat, Tomoe Gozen's story highlights the diverse roles samurai could play. Her participation in battles, such as the Battle of Awazu, demonstrated her exceptional martial abilities and her unwavering loyalty to her lord. Tomoe Gozen's legacy challenges traditional gender roles and showcases the inclusivity of the samurai ethos. Her story has inspired countless retellings in literature, theater, and film, cementing her place as a symbol of courage and strength. Other notable figures, such as Nasu no Yoichi, whose incredible archery skills were displayed at the Battle of Yashima, further exemplify the individual heroism that characterized the samurai spirit. As the Kamakura shogunate continued, the roles of samurai expanded even further. They became involved in diplomacy, representing their lords in negotiations with other clans and foreign powers. This required a deep understanding of political dynamics and negotiation tactics. Samurai envoys played crucial roles in maintaining alliances and securing peace treaties, demonstrating their versatility and strategic thinking. Diplomatic missions often involved complex negotiations and required a keen awareness of cultural sensitivities. Samurai diplomats were trained in etiquette and communication skills, enabling them to navigate the intricacies of international relations. Their efforts helped to prevent conflicts and fostered cooperation between different regions and nations. After 400 years of relative peace, Japan entered a turbulent period. The central government weakened, and many feudal lords went to war again, seeking to achieve military control over all of Japan. This phase became known as the Sengoku Jidai, or the Warring States period. This era was characterized by widespread chaos and conflict, as ambitious daimyo vied for supremacy. The Sengoku period saw the rise of powerful warlords, such as Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu, who each played pivotal roles in shaping the course of Japanese history. The constant state of warfare demanded strategic brilliance, innovative tactics, and unwavering determination. Samurai warriors were at the forefront of these battles, their loyalty and martial skills put to the ultimate test. It was the most troubled civil war in Japanese history, and the period when the samurai were most prominent. Many men from different social classes fought hard on the battlefields in hopes of being recognized and given the title of samurai. Famous samurai like Miyamoto Musashi emerged during this time, their exploits becoming the stuff of legend. Miyamoto Musashi, known for his unparalleled swordsmanship and strategic genius, is one of the most celebrated samurai in history. His classic work, The Book of Five Rings, outlines his philosophy and techniques, which continue to influence martial artists and strategists to this day. Musashi's life was marked by numerous duels and battles in which he consistently demonstrated his mastery and resilience. The Sengoku period saw the development of new military tactics and strategies. Samurai commanders such as Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu revolutionized Japanese warfare with their innovative approaches and use of firearms. Nobunaga's introduction of the arquebus, a type of early firearm, transformed battlefield tactics and gave his forces a significant advantage. Hideyoshi's strategic acumen and diplomatic skills enabled him to unify Japan after decades of conflict. His administrative reforms and land surveys helped to stabilize the country and lay the groundwork for future prosperity. Tokugawa Ieyasu's victory at the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600 established the Tokugawa Shogunate, which would govern Japan for over 250 years. These leaders' contributions to military strategy and governance had a lasting impact on Japan. The constant warfare also had a profound cultural impact. Castles were built across Japan, becoming centers of power and culture. The tea ceremony, no theater, and other cultural practices flourished, influenced by the samurai's patronage. The construction of grand castles, such as Himeji Castle and Matsumoto Castle, symbolized the strength and sophistication of the ruling daimyo. No theater, with its intricate masks and stylized performances, became a prominent cultural form during this period. Samurai patrons supported no troops and commissioned performances that reflected their values and ideals. The tea ceremony, or chanoyu, evolved into a highly ritualized practice that emphasized simplicity, harmony, and mindfulness. These cultural pursuits provided a counterbalance to the violence and turmoil of the battlefield. The Sengoku period also saw the rise of castle towns, which became centers of administration and culture. These towns were often built around a central castle, and they played a crucial role in the economic and social life of Japan. Castle towns such as Kanazawa and Himeji became bustling hubs of trade and craftsmanship. The layout of these towns reflected the hierarchical nature of samurai society. The daimyo's castle was situated at the center, surrounded by the homes of high-ranking samurai and retainers. Merchants and artisans lived in designated districts, contributing to the town's economic vitality. The castle towns facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultural practices, fostering a sense of community and collaboration. During the Sengoku period, religion and philosophy played a significant role in the lives of the samurai. Many samurai turned to Zen Buddhism for guidance and discipline, while others followed Shinto practices. These beliefs helped shape the samurai code of conduct. Zen teachings emphasized the importance of meditation, mindfulness, and self-discipline, aligning closely with the samurai's pursuit of martial excellence. The practice of Zen meditation, or zazen, became an integral part of samurai training. Samurai would spend hours sitting in meditation, cultivating a state of mental clarity and focus. This practice enabled them to remain calm and composed in the heat of battle, enhancing their effectiveness as warriors. Shinto rituals, which honored the kami, spirits, and ancestral deities, reinforced the samurai's sense of duty and loyalty to their lord and family. The Sengoku period was marked by numerous notable battles and campaigns, such as the Battle of Okehazama, the Siege of Osaka, and the Battle of Nagashino. Each of these conflicts had significant consequences for the political and social landscape of Japan. The Battle of Okehazama, where Oda Nobunaga defeated the powerful Imagawa clan, showcased Nobunaga's daring and strategic brilliance. The Siege of Osaka, which marked the end of the Toyotomi clan's resistance, was a decisive event that solidified Tokugawa Ieyasu's control over Japan. The Battle of Nagashino demonstrated the effectiveness of firearm tactics as the combined forces of Oda Nobunaga and Tokugawa Ieyasu used arquebuses to devastating effect against the Takeda cavalry. These battles highlighted the dynamic and evolving nature of samurai warfare. Personal stories and anecdotes from the Sengoku period provide a deeper understanding of the lives of samurai. The tale of Takeda, Shingen, and Uesugi Kenshin, two rival warlords who developed a mutual respect despite their fierce battles, is one such example. Their legendary rivalry, often referred to as the Tiger of Kai versus the Dragon of Echigo, is celebrated in Japanese history and folklore. Shingen and Kenshin's epic battles, such as the Kawanakajima campaigns, were marked by strategic brilliance and intense combat. Despite their enmity, both leaders recognized each other's skill and honor. In one famous anecdote, Kenshin reportedly sent Shingen a gift of salt during a time of shortage, demonstrating a sense of respect and chivalry that transcended their rivalry. Despite the constant warfare, the Sengoku period was also a time of cultural flourishing. The samurai class continued to patronize the arts, leading to the creation of beautiful works of art, literature, and theater. The development of No theater, Ho in particular, was influenced by samurai culture. Samurai-sponsored artisans and craftsmen produced exquisite pottery, lacquerware, and textiles, contributing to Japan's rich cultural heritage. The arts provided a means for samurai to express their refined tastes and philosophical insights. Literary works, such as the Heike Monogatari, recounted the heroic deeds and tragic fates of samurai warriors, preserving their stories for future generations. The flourishing of the arts during this tumultuous period reflected the samurai's commitment to balance and harmony, even in the midst of conflict. The Sengoku period also saw significant economic changes. Trade routes expanded both domestically and internationally, bringing in new goods and ideas. Samurai were often involved in trade, acting as intermediaries between merchants and their lords. The influx of foreign goods, such as firearms and textiles, influenced Japanese culture and economy. The establishment of markets and trading posts facilitated the exchange of goods and resources. Samurai engaged in commerce, leveraging their strategic positions to promote trade and economic growth. The development of a cash economy and the use of coinage further stimulated economic activity. These changes contributed to the emergence of a more interconnected and prosperous Japan. With the aggressive and ambitious nature of the samurai during the Sengoku Jidai, many feudal lords feared their warriors. To control and discipline the samurai, the Bushido code was created. Bushido, meaning the way of the warrior, was based on several Oriental philosophies from religions like Buddhism and Shintoism. The creation of Bushido was not a single event, but a gradual process that evolved over centuries. It was influenced by the teachings of Confucianism, which emphasized loyalty, filial piety, and ethical behavior. The code of Bushido provided a moral framework that guided the samurai in their daily lives, ensuring that their actions were aligned with the values of honor, duty, and self-discipline. Bushido valued justice, courage, compassion, respect, honesty, honor, and duty. Samurai were also expected to learn calligraphy, painting, and various activities related to self-control and self-improvement. For most samurai, honor was more important than life itself. The principles of Bushido were deeply ingrained in the samurai's psyche, shaping their behavior and decision-making. Justice, or ji, was the cornerstone of Bushido. Samurai were expected to act with righteousness and fairness, upholding the laws and principles of their society. Courage, or yu, required samurai to face danger and adversity with bravery and resolve. Compassion, or jin, emphasized the importance of empathy and kindness, even towards enemies. Respect, or rei, governed the samurai's interactions with others, ensuring that they treated everyone with dignity and consideration. The principles of Bushido permeated every aspect of a samurai's life. From their training routines to their interactions with others, samurai strove to live by these principles. This code of conduct helped to maintain order and discipline within the samurai class. Samurai were expected to demonstrate unwavering loyalty to their lord, even at the cost of their own lives. The practice of seppuku, or ritual suicide, exemplified the samurai's commitment to Bushido. When faced with dishonor or failure, a samurai would choose to take their own life rather than live in disgrace. This act was seen as a way to restore honor and demonstrate their loyalty and integrity. The rituals and ceremonies associated with seppuku were conducted with solemnity and precision, reflecting the samurai's adherence to Bushido. Stories of samurai who exemplified Bushido are numerous. The tale of the 47 ronin who avenged their master's death despite the personal cost is a prime example of the loyalty and honor upheld by Bushido. This story, also known as the Ako incident, is one of the most famous and revered tales in Japanese history. The 47 Ronin's act of revenge against Lord Kira Yoshinaka demonstrated their unwavering loyalty to their deceased master, Asano Naganori. Despite knowing that their actions would lead to their own deaths, the Ronin carried out their mission with precision and determination. Their eventual capture and ordered seppuku cemented their legacy as paragons of Bushido, embodying the values of loyalty, honor, and sacrifice. The philosophical underpinnings of Bushido were influenced by Confucianism, Buddhism, and Shintoism. These philosophies provided a moral framework that guided the samurai's actions and decisions. Confucian teachings emphasized the importance of hierarchical relationships and ethical conduct, reinforcing the samurai's sense of duty and loyalty. Buddhist teachings, particularly those of Zen Buddhism, emphasized the impermanence of life and the importance of mindfulness and self-awareness. The practice of meditation helped samurai cultivate a state of inner peace and mental clarity, essential for effective decision-making and combat performance. Shinto beliefs, with their reverence for nature and ancestral spirits, reinforced the samurai's connection to their heritage and their role as protectors of the land. In modern times, the principles of Bushido continue to be relevant. The concepts of honor, duty, and self-discipline are still valued in Japanese society and have been adopted in various fields, including business and sports. The legacy of Bushido is evident in the emphasis on teamwork, perseverance, and ethical behavior in these domains. Japanese businesses often incorporate the principles of Bushido into their corporate culture, promoting values such as loyalty, integrity, and dedication. The martial arts community continues to uphold the traditions of Bushido, teaching students the importance of discipline, respect, and continuous self-improvement. These contemporary applications of Bushido demonstrate its enduring influence and relevance. Bushido's influence extends beyond traditional practices and has permeated modern culture. Films, books, and even video games often draw upon the ideals of Bushido, showcasing the enduring legacy of the samurai code. Popular media representations of samurai often highlight their dedication to honor, duty, and martial prowess, resonating with audiences worldwide. The themes of sacrifice, loyalty, and moral integrity found in Bushido are universal and timeless, appealing to people from diverse cultures and backgrounds. Works of fiction, such as The Last Samurai and Ghost of Tsushima, have brought the principles of Bushido to a global audience, inspiring admiration and respect for the samurai way of life. Many people today look to Bushido for inspiration in personal development. The emphasis on continuous self-improvement, discipline, and resilience resonates with individuals seeking to better themselves in various aspects of life. The principles of Bushido can be applied to personal goals, career aspirations, and interpersonal relationships, providing a roadmap for ethical and purposeful living. Self-help books and motivational seminars often incorporate the teachings of Bushido, encouraging individuals to adopt a warrior mindset in their pursuit of success and fulfillment. The focus on mindfulness, perseverance, and integrity helps people navigate challenges and achieve their goals with honor and dignity. The famous Battle of Sekigahara in 1600 marked the rise of Tokugawa Ieyasu, who initiated the Tokugawa Shogunate. This era of peace lasted almost 300 years, leading to the decline of the samurai class. Many samurai lost their masters or were simply dismissed. Some committed seppuku, a form of ritual suicide, feeling disgraced at the loss of their social status. The Tokugawa Shogunate, also known as the Edo period, brought stability and order to Japan after centuries of warfare. Ieyasu's administrative reforms and strategic alliances ensured the shogunate's dominance and the suppression of potential rebellions. The peace and prosperity of the Edo period allowed for significant cultural and economic development, but it also rendered the samurai's martial skills increasingly obsolete. Others chose to become merchants or policemen, while many became ronin, or masterless samurai. These ronin wandered without a clear direction, often taking jobs as mercenaries, bodyguards, or even forming criminal groups. The plight of the ronin highlighted the challenges faced by samurai in adapting to the new social and economic realities of the Edo period. Ronin were often viewed with suspicion and disdain by society, as their lack of a lord and steady employment made them seem unreliable and potentially dangerous. Some ronin sought to restore their honor by engaging in acts of heroism or by finding new lords to serve. Others turned to less honorable pursuits, contributing to the rise of banditry and organized crime. During the Tokugawa period, Japan experienced unprecedented peace and stability. The samurai adapted to new roles as bureaucrats and administrators. The strict social hierarchy ensured that everyone knew their place and duties. Samurai were responsible for maintaining law and order, collecting taxes, and managing public works. The Tokugawa government implemented a rigid class structure, with samurai at the top, followed by peasants, artisans, and merchants. This hierarchy was enforced through sumptuary laws that dictated what each class could wear and own. Samurai were expected to live modestly and avoid displays of wealth, reflecting their commitment to duty and honor. The prolonged peace allowed for cultural flourishing. Kabuki theater, ukiyo-e woodblock prints, and other cultural forms thrived. Samurai, while no longer solely warriors, became patrons of the arts and intellectual pursuits. The Edo period saw a flowering of literature, painting, and theater, with samurai playing a significant role as both creators and supporters. Kabuki theater, with its dramatic performances and elaborate costumes, became a popular form of entertainment. Ukiyo-e, or pictures of the floating world, depicted scenes from everyday life, nature, and mythology, capturing the beauty and transience of the Edo period. Samurai patronage of these art forms helped to preserve and promote Japanese culture. The Tokugawa period brought about significant economic and social changes. The rise of a merchant class and the development of a market economy transformed Japanese society. Samurai had to adapt to these changes, often taking on new roles to survive. The emergence of a vibrant urban culture centered around cities like Edo, modern-day Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka further diversified the economy. Merchants gained wealth and influence, challenging the traditional social hierarchy. Samurai, who were often financially dependent on their stipends from their lords, had to find new ways to supplement their income. Some samurai engaged in commercial activities, such as running shops or investing in businesses, while others became teachers, scholars, or artists. Many samurai transitioned into bureaucratic roles, contributing to the administration and governance of Tokugawa Japan. Their disciplined approach to duty and service played a crucial role in maintaining the stability of the shogunate. Samurai officials were responsible for enforcing laws, resolving disputes, and overseeing local governance. The Tokugawa government established a network of administrative offices, known as han, which were governed by daimyo and staffed by samurai. These offices ensured the efficient collection of taxes, the maintenance of infrastructure, and the administration of justice. Samurai bureaucrats adhered to strict ethical standards, reflecting their commitment to Bushido and their role as public servants. Education and literacy became increasingly important during the Tokugawa period. Samurai were often highly educated, and many took on roles as teachers and scholars, contributing to the intellectual growth of Japan. The development of schools and academies, such as the Terakoya and the Han schools, provided educational opportunities for samurai and commoners alike. The curriculum in these schools included Confucian classics, Japanese literature, mathematics, and calligraphy. Samurai students were also taught martial arts and military strategy, ensuring that they remained proficient in both intellectual and physical pursuits. The emphasis on education and literacy contributed to the overall advancement of Japanese society and the preservation of cultural heritage. Despite the relative peace, the Tokugawa shogunate faced internal and external threats. Internal disputes among the daimyo and the rising influence of Western powers created challenges that the shogunate had to navigate carefully. The arrival of Commodore Perry's black ships in 1853 and the subsequent opening of Japan to foreign trade marked the beginning of significant political and social upheaval. The Tokugawa government implemented policies to maintain control and stability, such as the alternate attendance system, Sankin Kotai, which required daimyo to spend alternating years in Edo. This policy helped to prevent rebellion by keeping daimyo under close surveillance and reducing their financial resources. However, the growing discontent among various factions, combined with external pressures, eventually led to the downfall of the Tokugawa shogunate. Japan's isolation ended in 1854, leading to the Meiji Restoration, a period marked by resistance from samurai families against the new government model. During this time, the samurai class was officially abolished, and the last samurai were forced to surrender their swords. The Meiji government implemented sweeping reforms aimed at modernizing Japan and transforming it into a competitive industrial nation. The abolition of the samurai class was part of a broader effort to dismantle the feudal system and create a centralized modern state. Samurai were no longer allowed to carry swords in public, and their stipends were gradually phased out. The government offered compensation in the form of government bonds, but many samurai struggled to adapt to the new economic realities. However, the samurai spirit lived on. During World War II, the Japanese government promoted the samurai ethos to encourage soldiers. Although the samurai era officially ended, many samurai families continued to exist, and their code of honor and martial arts are still practiced worldwide. The principles of Bushido were invoked to inspire patriotism and sacrifice among Japanese soldiers. The Meiji period also saw significant cultural and societal changes. Western technologies, fashion, and ideas were adopted, transforming Japanese society. The introduction of a modern education system, the establishment of a constitutional government, and the development of a national army were among the key reforms. Despite these changes, the legacy of the samurai continued to influence Japanese culture and values. Many samurai resisted the changes brought by the Meiji Restoration. Figures like Saigo Takamori, who led the Satsuma Rebellion, symbolized the struggle between tradition and modernization. The Satsuma Rebellion of 1877 was one of the last major armed conflicts involving samurai, as Takamori and his followers fought against the Meiji government's policies. Saigo Takamori, often referred to as the last true samurai, became a symbol of resistance to modernization. His rebellion, though ultimately unsuccessful, highlighted the deep divisions within Japanese society and the challenges of transitioning from a feudal to a modern state. Saigo's legacy as a heroic and tragic figure continues to be celebrated in Japanese history and culture. The principles of the samurai, especially those enshrined in Bushido, continue to influence Japanese society. From business practices to modern martial arts, the legacy of the samurai endures. Companies often adopt the samurai's emphasis on loyalty, discipline, and dedication, fostering a culture of commitment and excellence. Martial arts schools around the world teach the techniques and philosophies developed by the samurai, promoting physical fitness, mental discipline, and ethical conduct. The enduring appeal of the samurai ethos is evident in the global popularity of Japanese martial arts, such as kendo, judo, and aikido. These practices continue to inspire individuals to strive for personal growth and mastery. The samurai ethos also influenced modern Japanese military practices. The code of honor and discipline that characterized the samurai became part of the training and philosophy of the modern Japanese military. The Imperial Japanese Army and Navy incorporated elements of Bushido into their training programs, emphasizing loyalty, courage, and sacrifice. The concept of kamikaze pilots during World War II, who conducted suicide missions to defend Japan, was rooted in the samurai tradition of self-sacrifice for the greater good. While controversial, these actions reflected the deep cultural influence of Bushido and the samurai's commitment to duty and honor. The post-war Japanese self-defense forces continue to uphold these values, balancing military readiness with ethical conduct. The influence of samurai culture has spread beyond Japan. Samurai principles have been adopted in various fields around the world, from martial arts to leadership training, demonstrating the enduring appeal and relevance of the samurai ethos. The values of discipline, resilience, and ethical leadership resonate with people from diverse cultures and backgrounds. Leadership programs often draw on the teachings of Bushido to cultivate qualities such as integrity, accountability, and strategic thinking. The emphasis on continuous self-improvement and the pursuit of excellence inspire individuals to develop their full potential and contribute positively to their communities. The global appreciation of samurai culture underscores its universal significance and timeless appeal. The Meiji Restoration also brought about significant technological and economic changes. The introduction of Western technology and industrialization transformed Japan's economy and society. Samurai had to navigate these changes, often adapting to new roles in the rapidly modernizing country. The construction of railways, factories, and telegraph lines facilitated economic growth and connectivity. Many former samurai found employment in the new industries, contributing their skills and discipline to the modernization efforts. Some became entrepreneurs, leveraging their networks and knowledge to establish successful businesses. The transition from a feudal to an industrial economy was challenging, but the adaptability and resilience of the samurai spirit helped Japan emerge as a major global power. The legacy of the samurai endures in modern Japan and beyond. Their principles of honor, discipline, and martial prowess continue to inspire. The samurai ethos is evident in various aspects of Japanese culture, from martial arts to business ethics. The values of loyalty, integrity, and perseverance remain deeply ingrained in Japanese society, shaping its collective identity. The samurai's influence extends to contemporary arts and media, where their stories and ideals continue to captivate audiences. Films, literature, and video games often depict the samurai as embodiments of courage and honor, reinforcing their iconic status. The samurai's legacy also lives on in the rituals and traditions of modern Japanese culture, from tea ceremonies to martial arts competitions. The samurai were more than just warriors. They were a symbol of discipline, loyalty, and honor. Their influence on Japanese culture is immeasurable, and their legacy continues to inspire generations. As we reflect on their history, we can draw lessons on the importance of honor, duty, and self-improvement in our own lives. The samurai's dedication to personal and societal excellence serves as a timeless example for individuals and communities striving to make a positive impact. What do you think? Do the samurai still hold a place in modern society? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, let us know which topic you'd like us to explore next. Stay safe and see you in the next video.